All right, great. So next I'd like to invite our SAS co-chairs, Smaya and JD to the, oh, just Smaya. You guys are doing a real like one, one on me today.
Hi, y'all. My name is Samia. It's my first time at a business meeting, so I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, sorry. But I'm really excited to share the work that we've done over the past year. So there have really been three themes kind of surrounding our work, both within and outside of the SAS Executive Board. We've really focused on community representation and dismantling power dynamics. So we've hosted numerous events over the past year for students all across counseling psychology. So our Justice, Equity, and Liberation pillar did multiple healing circles for BIPOC students, for other graduate students. They also hosted a change makers panel featuring really amazing counseling psychologists to talk about their work, whether they're in research, in clinical, in the community. So really trying to create those spaces for our students to learn more about what they can do as counseling psychologists. Our scientist practitioner advocate pillar did an introduction to advocacy event so that students could learn more about what it actually means to be in the work of social justice. And they created a resource folder for other students to access to learn more about that as well. Our structural well-being pillar did a deep needs assessment with students. So we sent out a form and asked about what students are needing and what they're wanting in their programs to create safer spaces and create spaces of community. And our community learning and development pillar created a podcast, which is really exciting. So we've done, our pillars have been doing a lot of really good work. And this was the first time that we had these pillars as we transitioned into the University of Tennessee, Knoxville being the host institution. Beyond this, we also had a new committee with the Master's Clinicians Chairs Committee, which was aimed to increase representation of students in the master's level programs. And they created a massive list of training directors at all the master's programs so that we could be in connection with them as well when we're trying to connect students. In addition to that, I want to shout out our programming chairs who created beautiful events for APA, and we had a really great turnout. So really proud of all the hard work that the students on our board have done. We're also going to talk about our awards later. So we had 6 student awards, 2 for clinical, 2 for advocacy, and 2 for research. This was the first time that we had clinical awards because we really want to highlight that there are so many people in the, who are doing clinical work, and we are scientists, practitioners, and advocates. So we need to be highlighting that as well. I know that I've highlighted all of this work that we've done, all of these events that we've run, but I really want to also mention that it's more than just being productive. We've really tried to focus on building relationships on our board and understanding that we all have these shared values. All of us as students are really driven and feel fulfilled by being in a field that is so oriented towards social justice and advocacy, but we also experience harm in our programs and need a space to process that before we try to address all the inequities in the world. So we try to work on dismantling power dynamics even within the board. So even though JD and I are co-chairs, we made sure that, when we were making decisions about the budget, they were involved. So they gave us feedback on all of our events. We gave them funds for traveling to APA. And we also made space for discussion of anti-Black racism, kind of taking a lead from Siobhan and bringing that to our board. And also gave all of our board members a Google form to give us feedback on how our leadership has been so far. We also used some of our budget this year to provide a training based on board members' interests. And so board members said they wanted an anti-colonial therapy training, and we paid a Black therapist for a 2-hour video training that we could watch asynchronously and then come back together to talk about. So those are just some of the ways that we wanted to work on starting to dismantle some of the anti-Black racism that occurs both within SAS but also outside of SAS. Alongside this, we've been working really hard to transition to a fully national model. So of course, SAS has historically been at host institutions. And so that's been a big part of our work, especially in terms of figuring out the logistics of what that means, as we may not have a faculty advisor and we're trying to figure out what that looks like. So we brought that up for discussion with the SEP board. And, for the first time ever, we have a member of the cabinet who's not actually at the host institution. So we're starting to make that change. And so it's been JD and I over the past year, but we're adding Asiana Harris, who think should be somewhere in the room. Here, there she is in the back. So she's over there and she's at Marquette University. So finally, we're starting to expand to this fully national model, which is really, really exciting and hopefully creates more engagement across all the programs. And, you know, as being from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, we're really grateful to be the last host institution and looking forward to where we're going next. So thank you all.
Amazing work from our SAS co-chairs and all of SAS. Thank you all so much.